If you've ever imagined that being the sort of pianist that can play on the piano naturally and freely, listen up. Playing off page is a skill, and most of us think that being able to play that way is something that happens when you're naturally talented, but hard work and passion always beats out natural talent. So the problem with most pianists today and in history is that you're working hard at practicing through the traditional skills of, reading sheet music, playing technically well, and being able to interpret what a composer has designed for you to play. Those skills are, of course, foundational, really great. But if your desire is to play freely and naturally at the piano, working at those traditional skills forever and a day and hoping for those natural skills, those creative skills to just show up one day, you're going to be disappointed. And I don't want you to be disappointed, okay? So what we're going to do is practice playing freely, practice playing creatively. So how do we practice playing freely? I can hear you asking. Well, today we're going to talk about 5 things that you can start doing, 5 activities that are going to help draw that natural talent for playing freely dramatically closer. So the first thing we're going to do is to flip the script on our pieces. This, for me, is the easiest way to get someone who's glued to sheet music and is obsessed with playing what's on the page, too scared to get off the page. Let's bring the creative to the page. We'll bring the creative to you. So take a piece that you already know. If you're already playing the piano and you're used to reading sheet music and you want to be more creative, take a piece you already know. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take away some of the notes. See how here it has this arrow is pointing to that note there with the accent. When you play this song, the top line is accented. It goes like this. Right? So that is accented along the top line of that notation. So I'm going to play with that. It's accented. It's obviously important. So I'm going to have a go at just bringing that out instead of playing the whole thing. Then I'm going to do the same thing in the left hand. I'm going to play with just bringing in the top notes of the left hand as well. Essentially the bass notes, right? So this way I'm sort of flipping the script on this piece and I'm going to bring out those particular parts. But you see what I mean? I'm just taking liberties and deciding to bring out that melody note at the top. Okay, let's do it with the bass line now. By doing this technique, it means we can play around just with this one front section of the piece. We can play around with it in our own way. And guess what? That's creativity. That's free playing. It's this idea of flipping the script. We can do it with classical pieces. We can do it with lead sheets as well. Thinking about the melody line, thinking about adding to the bass notes. If it's a simple bass pattern, maybe we can do it twice or we can syncopate it a little bit more. So just thinking in this way when you're playing pieces, see if you can make these little changes. The second thing is a random chord generator. Website is called chord.com. This is a random chord generator, and I think it's just such a great idea to give you, if you're wanting to play freely, it gives you something to start from. So with this, you can go in a free account, you don't need to pay for it, and see how it's got the keyboard here. It's got these 4, don't worry about that guitar thing. It's got these 4 chords down here. Now you can set these parameters, say what key you want it to be in, whatever this is to do with the way it's going to play it for us. And you can go generate a major chord progression. But basically you can go into generate random chord progression and play it, and it will play you that chord progression, which you can play along with, or you can just go, okay, here's the random chord progression. I'm going to play that myself. A flat, D flat, A flat, G flat major. So you might decide to use that as a place to jam from, or you can use these parameters to choose a different sort of instrument. So you can have piano, or you can have synth, or you can have a pad, and it just gives you something to play along with without having to think of it yourself. So that's one of my ideas for an activity you can do to start free playing. What can you do with those chords? Just play through them, get used to playing different chords, maybe try and make up some riffs to go on those chords. There's lots of different things you can be doing. Third thing is to start using riffs with that random chord generator and with other chords, with songs that you might be writing. Now, riffs is something like this. So what's the riff there? It's that I'm thumb tapping and I've got a rhythm going with the left hand. So that riff is something that you can actually learn, and there's lots of different combinations that you can be learning and putting into what I call your riff bank, so that when you are want to play freely or naturally, whether it's on a piece or on a chord progression or a lead sheet, or you're just playing by ear or writing a song or improvising, then you can draw a riff from your riff bank. Now, I have just a thing for you. If you don't know how to build your riff bank, or you want some more suggestions of how to do that, you will want to know about my course. It's called Riffing Pro. This is where you can go and sign up for updates of this course release. And also, you get to get in there first. Riffing Pro is literally about handing to you all these done for you riffs. And when I say done for you, I mean because for myself, I had to play lots and lots, hundreds and hundreds of pieces over almost 3 decades of playing the piano and collecting all these riffs from all the pieces that I learned and all the amazing performers that I studied. And I'm bringing those to you so that you don't have to spend decades and decades learning different songs to acquire all those riffs. You can just do this course and the riffs are handed to you on a platter. You can add them to your riff bank and take them out whenever you need them to riff in, when you're playing freely, when you're playing with a band, when you're playing by yourself, just improvising, when you want to do a solo. I mean, it comes through in every type of creative playing that you want to do. So Riffing Pro is coming up very, very soon. Building your riff bank with this course is really important. I think it's the best way. Fourth thing is to practice active listening. So active listening is when we listen intently and pick out things about what we're hearing. We're just focusing on it, you know? It's like when you just go outside for a walk and you decide to be where you are right now and listen to what can you hear. I can hear birds in the distance. I can hear the wind. I can hear the rubbish truck down the road. I can hear a dog. So when you really focus, you notice all those sounds that you just sort of block out in your day-to-day. It's the same with music. We want to actively listen so that we're not just listening to music as a background. Take a moment to say, I'm going to actually listen to this music and figure out what's in it. What's in it? What instruments can you hear? What's the rhythm doing? What's the singer doing with their voice? Just those little noticing things are really going to improve your ear for the details in music. And once you start to recognize the details in music that is you hear, then you can start to put details in the music that you play. And that is natural talent, right? Putting those details in that make it sound like a wonderful performance. If you want help with your active listening and getting started, you can go to my ear bootcamp. And that'll help you to turn on your ears and get actively listening. All right, the fifth thing is to start playing songs that don't have the piano. Because we want to go outside of this idea of just like, I can only play piano songs. Once you're actively listening to other instruments, you can start to play songs on the piano that are not designed for the piano. And that requires creativity. It requires problem solving, right? And if you want to build that skill, here's another thing that's coming up called Arranging for Solo Piano. You guys can come. It's totally open to everyone. You do have to book your spot. This is all about how to arrange songs for solo piano, particularly if you love this particular song as your favorite song, but it's by a rock band and they don't have piano in it. You want to be able to make a cool piano arrangement for that song. You need to come along to this coaching. It's happening at the end of January as well. So we've got the Riffing Pro course coming out and we've got this coaching happening. If you want to get playing creatively on the piano, I recommend you do both, because these are going to help you so much with your playing creatively, being a free pianist. But if you want to start to get off page and do things creatively, then I recommend you come to this coaching on arranging for solo piano, but also get on the update list for this course, Riffing Pro. And that is our 5 activities for you guys to do to start playing more freely and have a wonderful, wonderful week. And remember to play it like you mean it.